Kyle's best friend Lily moved to San Francisco some time ago, and he missed her very much, so he decided to prepare a surprise party for her upcoming birthday. Can you tell exactly how many months have passed since she left by looking at his room? Lily went away 36 months ago. How can we figure it out? Take a look at the screen of his laptop. It shows the actual date. It's January 15th, 2022. And now let's take a look at Kyle's photo wall. His last picture with Lily is dated January 15th, 2019. So, Lily moved to another city exactly 36 months or 3 years ago. First of all, Kyle decided to find out what Lily wanted for her birthday. He knew she had a wish list online, but unfortunately, he forgot the password. He looked through his old notes and found this clue. Can you help him remember the correct password? It's 3548. You just need to count the spots on the bodies of these ladybugs. Now, Kyle knew what Lily's dream gift was. She wanted one very rare vintage guitar. Kyle created a secret group chat for all Lily's close friends and offered each of them to invest $100 to buy the guitar together. All 5 friends agreed to send the money to Kyle's bank account. But Kyle received only $400. Carrie said she'd sent her $100 after her morning jog. Josh said that he'd transferred the money right after receiving Kyle's message. Jenny had some problems with her bank app, but she managed to fix it. Mike said that he'd asked his mom to send the $100, and she'd promised to do so immediately. And Amy wasn't a huge fan of banking apps, so she asked her boyfriend to send the money. Who's lying? Carrie. She has a cast on her leg. She couldn't go jogging. Aha! Kyle went to a musical instrument store to get the guitar, but he ran into another customer who also wanted to buy that guitar. Kyle said, "It's not fair. I booked this guitar in advance." The customer said, "If you crack my riddle, the guitar is yours. I can be flipped and broken, but I never move. I can be closed and opened, and sometimes removed. I am sealed by hands. What am I?" 2 minutes later, Kyle left the store holding the guitar. What did he answer? It's a deal. Now Kyle had to go to the airport and fly to San Francisco, but his car broke down at a gas station in the middle of nowhere. Kyle wanted to ask somebody at the parking lot to give him a ride because he couldn't afford to be late for his flight. Can you help Kyle pick the right driver? This car has only 3 wheels. It's very unlikely that this driver will take Kyle to the airport safely. There's a creepy clown hiding in the back seat of this car, so it's probably not the best choice too. But the first car looks pretty reliable. The driver turned on terrible music and began to sing along off-key. Kyle asked him to turn the music down as politely as he could. The driver promised to do so, but only if Kyle managed to crack his riddle. And then he began to sing. From the beginning of eternity to the end of time and space, to the beginning of every end, and the end of every place. What am I? Can you help Kyle put an end to this terrible singing? The correct answer is the letter E. Kyle landed in San Francisco and went to get his luggage as fast as he could, but his suitcase was missing. Can you tell what happened after looking at this picture? This old lady is the thief. She covered the suitcase with her scarf, but this is Kyle's luggage. There's this sticker with his name on it. Kyle arrived at the bakery where he'd ordered a birthday cake for Lily. The pastry chef brought him 3 cakes for 3 different Lilies. Can you tell which cake is for Kyle's Lily? The third one. It's the only cake decorated with a cream guitar. Kyle knew that Lily wanted a guitar, so he ordered a matching cake design. After that, Kyle went to the local fancy dress store, but it was closed. The owner left a note on the door. It had a hint: 345129. Can you help Kyle figure out the 10-digit code? It's 444-111199. Kyle literally had to enter 3 4s, 5 1s, and 2 9s. When Kyle entered the store, he didn't see anyone, so he went to the storage room. The owner was lying on the floor unconscious. Kyle called the police right away. Several officers came and questioned the owner's assistant, Stacy. She said, "When I arrived at work, I felt that something was wrong. The door to the storage room was open. I entered and saw my boss unconscious on the floor, so I ran outside to get some help." The officers arrested Stacy right away. Why? She was lying. This type of door shuts automatically. When the owner of the store came to his senses, he was so overwhelmed that he didn't want to give Kyle any costumes. But Kyle needed them desperately, so he offered the owner a deal. "Ask me any riddle. If I guess, I'll get the costumes. If I can't crack it, I'll give you this delicious cake." The owner liked that deal, and that was his riddle. "I go from house to house, a messenger small and tight. When it rains or snows, I sleep outside at night. What am I?" Can you help Kyle save the birthday party? The answer is a road. Kyle picked the costumes and wigs and was ready to go to Lily's house. But first, the guy had to walk through an enchanted park. There were 3 ways. The first path led past several angry lions. A wicked witch who disliked men blocked the second path. And the third path was full of poppies that could put him to sleep immediately. Which way should he choose? The second option is the safest. Kyle can put on one of the wigs and dress and pretend to be a woman to pass by the witch. Kyle and Lily's other friends came earlier to her house to decorate it and prepare the surprise party. Meanwhile, Lily was away having her nails done. Lily's mother told the guys that the girl had left a spare key to the house under the rug on the doorstep. But when the friends arrived, they didn't find any key. Can you figure out where the key is? The dog took it. Take a look at these paw prints. It's pretty clear that the dog was near the rug and moved it. Then, the prints lead to the doghouse, so it's very likely that the key is there. The guys got very hungry while decorating the house, so they decided to share one lasagna among all 12 guests. Mike offered Rick $50 to divide the lasagna into 12 pieces with only 4 cuts. Can you help Rick? Since the lasagna is rectangular, the task is pretty simple. First, he needs to divide it into 3 identical pieces with 2 cuts. Then, make 1 perpendicular cut in the middle. So far, we've got 6 pieces and 1 final cut to make. Now he should make a horizontal cut exactly through the middle of the lasagna. And voila! There are 12 identical pieces that can be shared among 12 guests. Every guest wanted to be the one to bring Lily her cake with candles when she got home. Kyle offered such a deal. The one who's the first to guess my riddle will carry the cake. Everyone agreed. Here's the riddle. White, fat, and fluffy. May even look like a puppy. Seems heavy but is light. Floats about without a worry. But if it turns dark, you have to hurry. What is it? Jenny was the first to answer correctly, so she got the right to carry the birthday cake. What did she say? A cloud. Finally, Lily arrived home. The guys congratulated her and gave her the birthday cake. Lily made a wish and prepared to blow the candles out. But suddenly, Fiona, who was filming the moment, began to scream. Why? What's so creepy here? Take a look at the background. This face is very strange, isn't it? In the middle of the party, Kyle noticed that Lily was gone. That was weird because she left her phone in the kitchen. They searched the entire house. Suddenly, Kyle heard screams coming from the basement. Lily was lying there unconscious. The basement had no windows, and the door was usually locked. Only 3 people had the keys: Lily's boyfriend Fred, Sarah, a cleaning lady, and a chef who worked for Lily's parents. Kyle called an ambulance and locked the door to the basement. He interrogated 3 suspects. The chef said, "I was making dinner when I heard Sarah scream and rushed over. It was dark there, so I turned on the light and saw Sarah and Fred." Sarah said, "I saw Lily's body and screamed." Lily's boyfriend said, "I just got home and found out what happened." Who sounds suspicious and why? Sarah, of course. The cook said he had to turn on the light. So how did Sarah see Lily? Suddenly, Kyle looked at Lily and said, "Oh, get up, Lily. That was just a prank." How did he know? When he first saw the girl, she was lying on her back with her head to the door. And now, she's lying with her feet to the door. It's obvious that she moved while he was interrogating the suspects. No one else could move her because nobody had access to the basement.
Wendy and her roommates at college decided to find jobs to earn some money for an epic trip to Asia on summer vacation. Wendy downloaded a special job search app. The app offered her to solve a riddle to prove she was human. Tomorrow, I'm sure here. Yesterday, I'm found as well. Today, I'm gone. What am I? Wendy gave her answer right away and passed the test. What did she say? The correct answer is the letter R. Wendy filled her profile and received 3 job offers right away. Josh needed help at his coffee shop because his barista went on vacation. Trisha was ready to give Wendy a job on her bee farm, and Dylan offered good money for washing his car. What job should Wendy choose? There's a flying cat at the bee farm, so it's probably not quite safe there. This car doesn't belong to Dylan. Take a look at the picture hanging on the wall of the gas station. This car is stolen, and Dylan is the thief. Wendy's best choice is the coffee shop. Wendy arrived at the coffee shop and saw something very weird right away. Can you see it too? There's a fish on the shelf with pastries. Wendy's new boss, Josh, said, "That was just a welcome prank to check how attentive you are." Josh gave her an apron and told her to get down to work. But Wendy gave him the apron back because she was sure that he was going to prank her again. Why? Take a look at the coffee shop logo and the logo on Josh's t-shirt. They don't match the logo on Wendy's apron. He challenged her attentiveness once again. A group of 6 students entered the coffee shop. Wendy was very nervous because they were her first clients. She asked, "What would you like to order?" The students decided to play a game with Wendy. The first guy showed her this pair of emojis, and Wendy cracked this puzzle right away. What did the guy order? A sandwich. Another guy showed Wendy these 2 emojis. Can you help her solve this? He ordered mashed potatoes. A shy student showed Wendy this combination. Can you crack it? He ordered fish fingers. And finally, the last student ordered this dish. Can you help Wendy figure it out? It's pepperoni pizza. 4 friends from that group of students ordered raspberry tea, but 2 remaining members of the group ordered different drinks. Rob took a glass of lemonade, and Rosie asked for a double espresso. The guys drank tea, and 5 minutes later, they got very sick and fainted. Wendy called the ambulance. She suspected that Rosie and Rob were behind this accident. So the girl asked them why they had ordered different drinks. Rob said he'd taken lemonade because he was allergic to blackberries. And Rosie said that she hadn't slept last night and needed a big dose of caffeine. Who's lying? Rob. He's allergic to blackberries, but the guys drank raspberry tea. At the end of her work shift, Wendy went to the coffee shop basement to check the supply of drinking water. Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind her back, and she had to find another way out. Wendy walked through a creepy tunnel and saw 3 doors. Behind the first door, there were powerful UV lamps. Behind the second door, angry dogs were waiting. And a tunnel behind the third door was on fire. What door should Wendy choose? The third one. She can take several large water bottles and put the flames out. Next day, Wendy got a task to deliver some books. When she arrived at the needed address, she saw a building with a metal door. The door was locked, but there was a note next to the combination lock. It said, Rose, Daisy, Aloe, and Sunflower. Can you help Wendy figure this passcode out? Here's a hint. One word on this list is different from the rest. Which one? Aloe. It's not a flower. Wendy entered the building. A cute old lady received the delivery. She offered Wendy extra tips if she managed to crack her riddle. A cloud is my mother. The wind is my father. My son is a cool stream. And my daughter is the fruit of the land. A rainbow is my bed. The earth my final resting place. And I'm the torment of man. What am I? Can you help Wendy earn some extra cash? The correct answer is rain. Wendy got a new task to organize a music concert in a jazz club. There, she met 6 musicians, and all of them had tattoos on their shoulders. They offered Wendy to guess who was the last one to join their group. Can you help her crack this puzzle? They use letters in alphabetical order, A, B, C, D, E. So, this drummer is the newest member of the band because his tattoo includes the letter F. Wendy's boss gave her an envelope with money and asked her to give it to Dan. Wendy asked, "But how can I recognize him?" The boss said Dan wore a red hat. Wendy entered the concert hall. It was full of people, and Wendy saw many guys in red hats. Can you count exactly how many? It's 8. But which of these guys is the real Dan? Nope, not this guy with Dan written on his t-shirt, and not this guy with Dan on his tattoo. The real Dan is over here. Look at his badge. It says Dan. The rest of the guys have different names on their badges. Early in the morning after the concert, Wendy drank a cup of coffee, felt unwell, and fainted. 10 minutes later, she woke up in a weird basement. 4 doors could lead her either to freedom or into a trap. Behind the first door, there were hungry bats. Behind the second door, there were rabid foxes. Behind the third door, there were venomous tarantulas. And behind the fourth door, there were venomous snakes. Which door should Wendy choose? She should choose the first door. Bats are nocturnal animals. They sleep in the morning. Next day, Wendy received a task from Shelley. She was the owner of a small art store and needed help with sorting paints by color. Unfortunately, Shelley's cat mixed them all up. Can you see any odd color among all these paints? Here it is. What about these tubes? Are they all similar? Nope. Paints number 2 and 6 are different. Can you help Wendy spot the odd color here? Paint number 1 is a little darker than the rest. What about this box? These colors are the same. Take a look inside this box. Are there any paints that don't belong here? Well, this color is slightly different. What about these paints? Are they all the same? Nope. Paints number 1 and 2 are different. And finally, this box. Can you see the paint that doesn't belong? Tube number 8 looks different. Wendy got a job as a supermarket manager. She assigned night shifts to Vicky and Fiona. They had to restock food at a 24-hour supermarket at the mall. At first, the girls were afraid to go through the dark and empty mall to get to the supermarket, but they got used to it after a while. Once, Wendy came over at 3 a.m. to check on them. She found the cash register open and empty. Wendy asked the 2 girls only one question. What were you doing when the robbery took place? Vicky said, the shelves with chips were almost empty, so I went to the warehouse to get some more. But someone had rearranged all the boxes. I had to look for the right one for about 15 minutes. When I came back, the money was already gone. Fiona said, I had already finished restocking my section, so I decided to go and do a little shopping in the mall. I didn't know what happened while I was away. Can you guess who the thief is? Fiona. The robbery happened at night. All the other shops were closed. How could she go shopping? When Fiona got exposed, she ran away from the supermarket. Wendy decided to carry out her own investigation. It turned out that Fiona had 4 friends. Wendy was sure that Fiona was hiding in one of their houses. Since Wendy didn't work for the police, she couldn't get a search warrant and visit them. But she could examine the guys' Instagram accounts. Let's look through their fresh posts. Have you guessed who's hiding Fiona? This guy is not alone. Take a look at this hand over there. Do you recognize Fiona's nail polish? Gotcha! Wendy received a bonus from the supermarket owner for her help in catching the criminal. Now she can afford to go to Asia. Solve this puzzle to find out which country she's going to visit first. That's right, it's China. And which country is she going to visit after traveling around China? Japan. And where will Wendy fly after that? To Singapore. Great job! Wendy arrived at the airport. Suddenly, airport guards locked the doors and she heard an announcement. Attention all passengers! A dangerous criminal has escaped and is hiding inside the building. Please keep calm and be careful. The airport will resume its operations as soon as we find him. Wendy decided to visit the ladies' room. As soon as she entered the restroom, she called airport security. Why? Take a look at this shadow. The criminal is hiding in the second cabin. The criminal was caught and Wendy could continue her adventure. The girl checked in and went to the gate. On the plane, a handsome guy named Chuck approached her. He said that she had taken his place. Wendy showed him her boarding pass and told him that he was wrong. But Chuck kept insisting. Who's right? It's Wendy. Wendy's seat number is 16I, and the guy's boarding pass has number 19I. He just looked at the number upside down.
Ready to challenge your visual memory? Let's get started. All you need to do is guess the celebrity by their eyes or any other missing details. Please count the number of correct answers and tell me the results at the end of the quiz. Here's the first task. Can you recognize this singer by their eyes? That's Cardi B. Great job. Let's go ahead and guess this actor. Any ideas? Tom Cruise. What about these pretty eyes? They belong to Taylor Swift. And whose eyes are those? Will Smith. Genius! Can you recognize this actress? Evan Rachel Wood. What about these eyes? They belong to Miley Cyrus. Can you recognize this musician? Kendrick Lamar. Any idea who that might be? Does she look familiar? Rihanna. What about these eyes? They belong to Justin Bieber. Can you recognize this actor? Jason Momoa. And whose eyes are those? Lady Gaga. Here's the next one. What do you say? Ariana Grande, of course. And who might that be? Selena Gomez. You can't confuse these pretty eyes, can you? Jude Law. Can you recognize this celebrity? Steve Jobs. Here's the next one. Any ideas? Anne Hathaway. Can you recognize this singer? Jennifer Lopez. Any idea who that might be? Timothée Chalamet. And what about this guy's eyes? Justin Timberlake. Can you guess this one too? These eyes belong to Albert Einstein. Let's see if you can guess celebrities by their smiles. Billie Eilish, of course. What about this charming smile? Jessica Chastain. And whose teeth are these? Harry Styles. And what about this smile? Zoe Kravitz. Any idea who that might be? Robert Pattinson. Here's the next smile. Beyoncé. What about this one? This smile belongs to Dua Lipa. And whose mouth is this? Ed Sheeran. Who's the owner of this charming smile? Michael Kiwanuka. Any idea who that might be? Jared Leto, of course. Does this smile remind you of anyone special? Scarlett Johansson. What about this mouth? Robert Downey Jr. Can you recognize this actress? Elizabeth Olsen. What about this next one? Cara Delevingne. And who's this charismatic guy? Kit Harington. Let's crack the next puzzle. Any associations? Emma Watson. You should probably recognize this person. Elon Musk. What about this smile? David Bowie. Does this smile remind you of any celebrity? Jennifer Lawrence. Here's the next smile. It belongs to Leonardo DiCaprio. What about the next one? Britney Spears. Any idea who that might be? Kate Winslet, of course. You're doing great, but now let's make the task a little harder. Can you guess the missing eyes that belong to Helena Bonham Carter? Option number 3 fits perfectly. What about Tom Hardy? Can you find the right pair of eyes? Here they are! Great job! Can you recognize Morgan Freeman's eyes? Option number 1 is correct. What about Anna Taylor-Joy? The second option is original. Can you find Amanda Seyfried's eyes? Answer number 1 is correct. What about Bill Hader? The first option is correct. Can you find Meryl Streep's original smile? Here it is. Can you spot Jamie Foxx's eyes? Option number 4 is correct. Which one of these 4 smiles belongs to Jason Segel? The second one. What about Chris Evans? The second option is correct. Can you recognize Sarah Paulson's eyes among these options? This pair is original. What about Ryan Reynolds? Can you spot his smile? Option number 3 is correct. What about Mark Ruffalo? Can you recognize his nose? This one. Let's go ahead and find the missing smile that belongs to Don Cheadle. Any ideas? Option number 2 is correct. Where's Quentin Tarantino's original nose? Over here, option 4. Which one of these 4 mouths belong to Jonah Hill? The third one. What about Michael Cera? Can you recognize the missing eyes? Option number 2 is correct. Which one of these smiles actually belongs to Brad Pitt? The second one. Let's go ahead and find the missing smile that belongs to James Franco. Any ideas? Option number 1 is correct. Which one of these 4 smiles belongs to Channing Tatum? This one. Any idea where Emma Stone's real nose is? Option number 3 is correct. Let's go ahead and find the missing eyes that belong to Margot Robbie. Any ideas? Option number 3 is correct. What about Brie Larson? Can you find her original nose? This one is correct. Can you find Paul Rudd's missing eyes? Any ideas? Option number 1 is correct. Let's go ahead and find the missing mouth that belongs to Daniel Radcliffe. I believe in you. In fact, there are 2 correct answers here. Option 1 and 4 are identical. Can you guess the missing eyes that belong to Orlando Bloom? Number 3 fits perfectly. Any idea about Heidi Klum's nose? Option 4 is correct. What's the original nose that belongs to Zendaya? Can you see it? Here it is. What about Bradley Cooper? Can you find his original eyes? The first answer is correct. Let's go ahead and find the missing nose that belongs to Dwayne Johnson. Any ideas? Option number 1 is original. Can you spot Matthew McConaughey's missing eyes? Option number 4 fits perfectly. What about Katy Perry? Can you find her real smile? Option 2 is correct. Can you guess the missing smile that belongs to Anthony Mackie? The third option fits perfectly. Can you spot Salma Hayek's mouth among these 4 options? Voila! Can you spot Colin Farrell's missing eyes? Here they are. Let's go ahead and find the missing mouth of Kanye West. Any ideas? Option number 4 is original. Can you recognize Kendall Jenner's missing eyes? Option 3 fits perfectly. Can you spot Nicole Kidman's missing mouth? Option 1 is correct. What about Reese Witherspoon? Can you find her original pair of eyes? The first answer is correct. Let's go ahead and spot Jennifer Aniston's missing mouth. Any ideas? Number 2 is original. What about Daniel Kaluuya? Can you find his eyes? Option 1 is correct. Can you find Angelina Jolie's original smile? Here it is. And now let's try to spot celebrities by these hints. Any ideas who that might be? Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex. Great job. Here's the next set of hints. Anything familiar? George Clooney. Can you recognize this face? It might belong to some actress or maybe a musician. Kiernan Shipka. Let's go ahead and solve this puzzle. Can you recognize this face? This is Penelope Cruz. I think you shouldn't have any problem recognizing this face, right? It's Megan Thee Stallion. What about this one? Can you recognize any famous scientist by these clues? Please welcome Edward Norton. Here's the next set of hints. Do you find them familiar? Blake Lively. What about these clues? Can your brain see the full picture? Christopher Columbus, of course. Any idea about this celebrity puzzle? You've probably recognized Marilyn Manson. Who's hiding behind these clues? What do you say? Keanu Reeves. Here's the next set of hints. Does anything seem familiar here? Meghan Markle. What about these parts? Can you recognize this person? It's Billy Porter over here. What can you say about these clues? This face belongs to Sarah Jessica Parker. And finally, let's crack these clues. Can you spot any celebrity here? This is Oprah Winfrey. If your score is between 70 and 100 points, congratulations! Your visual memory is phenomenal. Or you're just very, very fond of show business. In any case, you would make an excellent private investigator or celebrity magazine reporter. If your score is between 30 to 70 points, you're pretty attentive. If you're having a hard time choosing the right career path, you might want to consider visual arts and design. If your score is below 30 points, you're not a huge fan of pop culture, or your visual memory needs extra training. No worries, vision is not everyone's dominant sensor. Perhaps you should search for your superpower elsewhere. Maybe have phenomenal hearing or smell skills.